If you've ever wondered what it would be like to have an industrial steel mill as your next-door neighbor, welcome to the most polluted spot in Michigan. Nestled along the Detroit River, this toxic wasteland has spent well over a century making steel, smoke, and enough industrial noise to become part of local legend. It's one of the most heavily industrialized places in Michigan, and for generations, nearby residents have lived with towering smokestacks, glowing furnaces, freight trains, and the constant rumble of heavy industry. Now imagine waking up every morning, opening your curtains, and instead of seeing trees, a lake, or a beautiful sunrise, your front window looks straight at this eyesore. Some people dream of waterfront property. Others get blast furnaces with a river view. The air here has long been the subject of environmental concern. For decades, heavy industry has affected the surrounding neighborhoods, with residents raising concerns about dust, odors, emissions, and potential health impacts. The area has been studied repeatedly because of its concentration of industrial activity and environmental challenges. It's not exactly the postcard version of pure Michigan. Instead of birds singing, you might hear freight trains rumbling by. Instead of smelling fresh-cut grass, you might wonder, what is that smell today? Despite the jokes, there's a serious story here. The neighborhoods surrounding this toxic wasteland have carried the burden of heavy industry for generations. Many families have lived here for decades because this was where the jobs were. Steel mills built livelihoods for thousands of workers, helping fuel Detroit's rise as the automotive capital of the world. Industry brought opportunity, but it also brought pollution. For many residents, moving away simply wasn't an option. Homes were affordable, families were established, and generations stayed rooted in communities that existed long before environmental regulations became much stricter. It's a reminder that the people living nearby didn't create the pollution. They simply lived beside it. Today, the skyline is filled with smokestacks, conveyors, storage piles, cranes, rail yards, and aging industrial infrastructure. It's a landscape unlike almost anywhere else in Michigan. Beautiful? Probably not. Interesting? Absolutely. From above, the contrast is striking. On one side, the Detroit River carries ships between the United States and Canada. On the other, sprawling industrial facilities stretch toward the horizon, reminding visitors that this region helped build America. But every success story has its cost. Communities surrounding the area have spent decades balancing economic survival with environmental concerns, and that conversation continues today. It's a place where history, industry, and environmental reality all collide in one unforgettable landscape. So the next time someone complains about their neighbor mowing the lawn too early, just remember, it could be a steel mill outside your living room window. Suddenly, that noisy leaf blower doesn't seem quite so bad. Of course, there's another side to this story. Long before environmental regulations became what they are today, this was a place of opportunity. Thousands of workers crossed these roads every day, earning a living in the mills that helped build Detroit, manufacture steel for automobiles, and support families across Southeast Michigan. For many, the smoke meant a paycheck, and the endless sound of steel being made meant another day of work. Today, much of that industry has changed, but its footprint remains. Some residents have spent their entire lives here. Others can't wait to leave. And visitors, they're usually surprised that neighborhoods like this still exist just minutes from downtown Detroit. Just a few miles away are modern skyscrapers, parks, sports arenas, and waterfront attractions. Yet here, towering smokestacks and industrial machinery still shape the landscape. Whether you see this place as a symbol of industrial strength or a reminder of the environmental cost of progress, one thing is certain. There is nowhere else in Michigan quite like it. It's gritty, it's loud, it's weathered, it's controversial, and somehow, despite all of that, it's also fascinating. Because places like this tell a story that polished tourist brochures never will. They remind us that every modern city has a history hidden behind the skyline. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's ugly, but it's always worth understanding.